Titanfall. This is a game that was hyped to high heaven. And a lot of people asked if it was really worth all that hype. A lot of media outlets said it was. But, well, it is. Um, it's not actually capable of living up to the hype. At least not all of it. But I don't think there's any game that really can. So, what you get with Titanfall is an extremely solid first person shooter that's very satisfying, has a lot of great dynamics, but is really more evolutionary than revolutionary. That being said, at its original $60 price, it was ridiculous. Titanfall is not a value statement. It is, for $60, a really poor value. However, at its current $20 price, I very much recommend it if you are interested in first-person shooters. It's an excellent game that has a lot of great features that I miss whenever I play other first-person shooters. So without further ado, let's get into the gameplay. So to reiterate what I said before, the game's not a very good value. This is because it's basically just an online shooter. As in, always online. You're not online, you're not playing. Except for the tutorial, but that doesn't really count. So, the game... Well, let's take a look at the options menu. So we're gonna load up. And as soon as this loads... Loading times are kinda slow. I don't have this on an SSD, but it's still kinda slow. So, yeah. It is what it is. As I was saying, it's basically just an online shooter, so that's it. What you see is what you get. So let's take a look at the options. You can see we have sprint, always, never, or delayed. Basically, this is whether or not you have to push the shift button to sprint. Volume controls, always nice. Audio, captions, yeah. About what it looks like. So I will point out right now that this game is not terribly well optimized. Seriously. We'll have a look at the video settings in just a sec. But, yeah. I have a $200 graphics card, and I ain't maxing this out. I've got it pretty high, but you got brightness, full screen, which I also ran into some issues if you're not running at native resolution, so I am. But yeah, texture filtering, exactly what you'd expect. All the options. You can see I've actually got a lot of these either turned off or turned down. And that is because I cannot max this game out and keep a frame rate in the 50s. I do have VSync on. And then field of view is going to be the width of the field you see on screen. Less can make people sick, some people. I personally like it. It gives you a wider view. But, yeah. So you can see all these options. Not terribly impressive as far as optimization goes. I'd like to see this a bit better optimized. You can run it on an entry-level graphics card, but it doesn't look that good. And, yeah, you're going to be turning the settings way down. So let's look at the pilots. This is the character you're going to be playing as. You can see there's plenty of primary weapons. So various types, shotguns, carbines, LMGs. You can see you can add a sight and a mod to each one. So now we're going to go on our anti-Titan weapon. This is heavy weapon. So we have the rocket, homing but slow. Basically a machine gun for Titans. Ineffective though, in my opinion. And this thing, which launches magnetic projectiles that will drift toward Titans. Really cool. This thing is like a super precision weapon. Really powerful, but it takes perfect timing to get this right. So I favor the mag launcher. Sidearm, auto pistol, revolver, semi-automatic. Then your pilot ability. You can have radar pulses. You can boost your health and speed. You can cloak, which isn't very effective against pilots, but it will render you pretty much invisible to everybody else. Which basically all the AI units and Titans. Ordnance, you got a mine, basically a big old explosive, EMP grenade, and just a good old frag grenade. Yeah, that's about it. So I favor, personally, the arc grenade. You have 2 kits. Basically, enhanced parkour, explosives, power cell, run and gun, quick reload, stealth kit. Yeah. So then you have various other things. I like the ice pick. It's basically an enhancement to the hacking knife, which you use to hack turrets and enemy automated infantry. Makes it a lot faster. Various other things. Detonate your explosives when you die. Increase your speed to get your Titan. Detect the minions. And increase the shielding on your Titan when it first drops. So you can also change your gender and your name, minus special characters, irritatingly enough. So let's take a look at Titans. These are seriously fun to get into. So you have 3 chassis. Durability, maneuverability, and hybrid. Various primary weapons for your Titan. I'm partial to the classic chain gun. And again, you can add a mod to that. No sight, though, but you're in a Titan, so not a big deal. Then you're going to get a tactical ability. Particle wall, vortex shield, electric smoke. I won't get too deep into these, but these are different in what they do, obviously. Vortex shield is really powerful. It'll capture enemy projectiles and then throw them back when you're done. But it takes really good timing, so I prefer just a one-way shield, particle wall. So tier 2 kit, same type of thing. You can choose an icon, which doesn't really do anything. The OS voice. There are a ton of these, and you can actually buy more in the black market. I personally like Jarvis, or Jeeves, actually. Not Jarvis. That would be trademarked. But you can see there's a ton of these. Most of them require you to purchase them on the black market. But that's actually kind of fun. So it's nice to have all these options. Anyway, I'm going to go with Jeeves. And again, you can change the name. So alrighty then. Let's look at burn cards. These are basically cards that you earn by completing challenges or buying them on the black market. And you can activate one of these when you're dead. And it will, as soon as you spawn in, it will be active until you die or the round ends. And there's all sorts of things. Enhanced weapons, unlimited ammo for like your grenades. This one here in the middle makes your Titan explode. When it dies, it'll go up in a big explosion. All right, so let's play. We're gonna go classic Titanfall attrition. Basically, you have everybody. You have pilots, titans, grunts, and specters. Pilots are human players. Titans are called in, and humans can ride in them or have them automatically controlled. Grunts are basically minions. They're cannon fodder. And then specters are automated infantry. You can hack them. They're basically upgraded grunts. So, and this is going to throw us into a match in progress, so I don't expect it will go particularly well. But, yeah. So as we get started here, as soon as the there we go. So basically I'm going to choose the pilot I want and the Titan I want, and off we go. Now in attrition, you get points for, well, killing pretty much anybody. You get 1 point for killing a grunt, 3 points for killing a specter, 5 points for killing a pilot, and 10 for a Titan, plus various assists, etc. Basically my mini-map's up there in the top left corner, and one of the cool things about Titanfall is the parkour elements, which I never thought I would be saying, because in pretty much, in pretty much every other video game I've seen, the parkour elements are really just thrown in there, you'll never use them. But in Titanfall, they are absolutely essential. And so, there's probably some parkour up here somewhere. If I can get out of this mess. And you can see I'm completing challenges, and there are so many challenges, you'll win one fairly regularly. And that's good because they give you new burn cards, which give you bonuses, which help you earn more. You can see she threw a grenade at me. But I've got a carbine, very fast firing. You can see I can double jump. And that was a poor grunt who was actually charging me. Wow, one of the fun things in this game is... Ooh, there's another pilot. You'll find yourself kind of fighting through waves of minions and specters to get to the pilot, and when you stumble on one and they actually put up a fight, then that is a lot of fun. That changes the game so much. But one of the fun things is if you listen to the audio, the battle chatter is really good, but more especially if you listen to it, all these grunts are just in complete awe of all the pilots. They're like, oh, they're in such a league way ahead of us. I mean, yeah. It's just a lot of fun. It's actually a confidence booster, even if you're not doing that well. I do want to apologize. There's some slight stuttering here. I want to assure you that's caused by my video capture software, not the actual game itself. Though it is, as I said earlier, not very well optimized, which doesn't help. You can see I'm going to call down and jump in my Titan here, and see if we can take all of this enemy Titan. But, looks like my buddy's got that under control. I will say that, as a pilot, it's dangerous to get in front of a Titan, because their weapons are heavy, they will nail you. But at the same time, you don't want to be attacked by multiple pilots when you're in a Titan, because they do have heavy weapons, and ganging up on you if you can't find them, they can be a serious threat. As you can see though, if they're not seeking cover, these are mostly grunts, so they're not really smart enough. The grunt AI is not very impressive. Look at that, they're just lining up for my incoming fire. Lining up to die. Not that I'm complaining, that's actually really good. Oh, wow. Crushed. There is a kill cam. I'm kind of skipping it because I want to get back into the action as soon as possible. But as a pilot, you generally want to stay away from Titans unless they're previously occupied. Because, like I said, they can do some serious damage to you, if not kill you. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much a one hit with most Titan weapons. But at the same time, oh, there's Titan right there. At the same time, you can be competitive with your parkour and with the buildings, which are not destructible. You can hide, you can do various things. Oh, there's a Spectre shooting at me. But there's a Titan right there, so I don't really want to engage them. You can pick up other weapons, so if you're fond of the default carbine, you'll find pretty much everybody has it. Let's see if I can hack this guy. Yeah, there we go. So now he'll follow me around, and any other Spectres in the area, when I hacked him, they will help me. They will be hacked as well. And they will just run around helping me. So you can see, there's actually a lot of battle chatter from your, like, advisors. And there are two factions, the IMC and the militia. The militia are like the ragtag group, and the IMC is the evil military. Pretty clear cut, they don't do a lot to deviate from the standard formula. Basically, the IMC abused its power, so the militia appeared to fight them off, basically. But one of the big problems, in my opinion, that keeps Titanfall from being an even better game is that it has basically no campaign mode. There's technically an online campaign. I'm doing air quotes around that one because it does not qualify as a campaign in my book. You have to be online, and it's basically just a set of missions on the same maps that basically just introduce you to them, and that's pretty much it. Ooh, I got jump kicked. There's some really, really brief, really vague narration, but it just doesn't. The voice acting is cheesy. There's no actual cinematics, and it just does not draw you in at all, which is a pity. I'm gonna see if I can try it. Oh, nope. If you can get on top of a Titan, you can actually rodeo them, it's called, which is basically where you rip off part of their shielding, and then just shoot into the cockpit and just wear them down. Wear them down with bug bites. You can see the grunts basically just line up to die. AI is not particularly impressive with them. The Spectres are a bit better, but they're still. I'm gonna hack him, and I'm stealth so nobody can see me. Ooh, there's another one. He didn't get hacked, he wasn't close enough. Okay, so now they're hacked, and now they're following me, and now they are going to do my bidding. And that guy had a nuclear ejection, which basically blows up his Titan when it goes, when it's been destroyed. And we have been defeated, and I don't like my odds. There's an epilogue. An epilogue where you try to get to this dropship, which you can see it's marked on the HUD right there. But basically the goal is to get there, and then get into the dropship, and hope the dropship gets away. Because if there are a couple of Titans, they legitimately can shoot it down. It's pretty hard, but I'm not liking my odds here. Oh no. No, 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 no. Yeah, dead. You cannot respawn in the epilogue. And the other team is basically tasked with trying to keep us from evacuating. So either kill us all or destroy the dropship. Either or. And frankly, destroying the dropship is pretty hard. It takes multiple Titans all attacking at the same time, using their special abilities. But it's a really fun game. And I want to say right now that the parkour elements are incredible. You can wall run, you can double jump, and it really adds a lot. Because otherwise, you would have pretty much no chance against a Titan. And that's one thing I think they've really done, is they balanced this match really well. Or not just the matches, but the dynamic between the infantry and Titans. Both can be competitive. Neither one has a clear-cut advantage. Well, Titans have a clear-cut advantage in a straight fight, but they're not indestructible. They're very much fallible. They can be destroyed by infantry. And through the magic of editing, we are in a new match. So, there are quite a few maps on this one. In this game, I should say. And that's to be expected. This is pretty much all online multiplayer. In fact, that's really all it is. As I said, the campaign is pretty much non-existent. It's just a bunch of random missions with some very slight story elements, again air quotes, that serve to create a background. And the background, basically, in a sentence, faster than light travel was developed, and this led to the rise of colonies, which then rebelled against the IMC, and they became the militia. That's pretty much it. Again, stuttering not really caused by the actual game. It's really the software. You can see Titans have a pretty powerful punch. My AI is telling me, back off. You just took a bunch of damage. But do you always do what your AI tells you? I don't. So, yes, there are quite a few maps, which again is to be expected, not really commended, but they all have a good sense of verticality. As in, well, there's lots of levels, which is good, because pretty much that's what makes infantry competitive with their enhanced parkour skills. It allows them to be competitive by getting altitude, moving quickly in and around buildings. So there's always lots of buildings. If there's one problem I have with the maps, it's that some of them are kind of forgettable. Whoops, that's my own ship. Some of them are kind of forgettable, which is disappointing. Again, considering that's basically all this game did, or does, frankly. That being said, as I hope I've shown, this game is incredibly satisfying in terms of its dynamics. Again, I'm running around in a Titan, and you can see a friendly pilot has jumped on top. My shields will protect him, and oop, guess that Titan bye-bye. But my shields will protect him, and he can go around shooting stuff on top of me in various manners of gunnery. Alright, we're going to activate our shield core to enhance our shielding, because we are under attack by multiple targets. Specifically, there's a Titan, or not a Titan, a pilot over here somewhere that I cannot find. There he is. No, that wasn't him. Oh, shoot, we're damaged. Better fall back. You don't want to get outnumbered, especially in a Titan fight. It's bad. Where is this enemy pilot? I can't find him. Oh, I think I got him. No, that was a Spectre. Okay, well, I'm out. My Titan's gone. Scoring hits on any enemy will reduce the time it takes to get your replacement Titan. To get any Titan. And there are also some burn cards that will let you call in a Titan even if you're not... even if you don't have one ready. Oh shoot, I think I'm being targeted. There's somebody with a beam cannon, which is a horrible weapon, really. It's super precise. You have to get your timing just right. And somebody nailed me. You can see I'm using a burn card here. It's replaced my primary weapon with an OP carbine. And there are a lot of sights. I actually prefer the hollow sight, I think. But the other that's good, you saw it on my primary last match. Ooh, I'm not doing very well. You can access the rankings anytime by hitting tab, as usual. But it will stay on. Pretty much everything is a toggle in Titanfall, by default at least. This type of sight I think is my favorite. The hollow sight is a really close second. Oh snap. I don't think I'm going to be able to get away. Am I? Did I actually succeed? I did. Okay, defeated. Again. Evac point somewhere ahead. One of the hard things is actually just finding and getting to the evac points. I'm in trouble. Yep. But as you can see, I hope, this game is a lot of fun. We're going to cut to a new match pretty soon. Because we're doing really bad. The dropship has arrived, and it'll be leaving. Or no, it hasn't. It's still coming. But you get about 10 seconds to get on after it arrives. Which is cool. It's nice to have something to look forward to if you lose. You know, if you get there, then you get extra points. So it's not just pointless, you lost, that's it. Now, this is a good time to bring up probably the most controversial element of the game. And that would be the smart pistol. And I'm using it right now. But the smart pistol will automatically lock on to targets, specifically enemies. And then, as soon as it's locked on, you just pull the trigger. It will fire multiple rounds and kill them all with headshots. Like that. The circles will turn red when it's locked on. So, as you might guess, this is kinda OP. It's not game breaking. Some people have called this, you know, game breaking. But it's not. It takes quite a bit of time, especially to lock on to a pilot. Now, with minions and specters, no. you can nail them rapid fire and take out entire hordes of them. But with an enemy pilot, it actually takes quite a while to lock on. And if they move out of range, then you have to completely reacquire. Which helps to balance it. Because otherwise it would be too powerful. It would be game breaking. But as it is, it's not game breaking. It's kind of a noob weapon, but it's also kind of fun. And the fact is, a straight firing weapon in any close quarters will absolutely destroy someone with a smart pistol. Because while they're trying to lock on, you've already shot them. Now you gotta be kind of stealthy using the smart pistol like that, because if they spot you, you're dead. Unless you can get out of range fast enough, which is challenging to do. So it's not as game breaking as some people have said. It is overpowered, but it's not ridiculously so. You know, this is a quirk, but not game breaking. Well, on a side note, you can turn it into a manual pistol, which is kind of unimpressive, by using iron sights. The reason I actually used this for so long was, and I did use this for a while, but the reason I did, because I was playing on a low-end graphics card, and it was just tanking my frame rate every time I used iron sights, which made it impossible to aim with a straight firing weapon. So basically I was really into the smart pistol. But honestly, as fun as the smart pistol is, it's actually far more satisfying to kill someone with a straight weapon, because the straight firing weapons are that much more satisfying. So, if you can, yeah, don't use a smart pistol. The community also is not terribly happy if you do. Everybody kind of feels gypped if you do that. But I do feel it's okay once in a while, just don't use it super regularly. It's a specialized weapon, and it's only good for specialized uses. As a general purpose weapon, it sucks. The lock-on time's just too much for close quarter engagements. So not really game breaking. Now, as I've said before, this game is not a very good value, because whereas with something like a Battlefield game or one of the older Battlefront games, the Star Wars Battlefront games, you would get both an online mode and a single-player campaign. Admittedly, yes, the single-player campaigns aren't terribly impressive nowadays. They don't put too much effort into them, but they're there. You can play them without access to the internet, even if it is not super impressive. With Titanfall, what you see is what you get. And as I've said, at a $60 price point, I expect more. But at the current price of $20, or the sale prices of $10 or less, this is a good value, actually. Because the dynamics of the game, the way it plays, all of that, you can see I'm just totally nailing those grunts with like one shot. One pull of the trigger will just destroy all of them. So that's what it is powerful for, the smart pistol. But at its current price, I can recommend it. It's a good value if you're only paying $20 or less. Any more than that, it gets harder to recommend. If you're a hardcore fan, you'll probably still want it, but if you're not, then it's probably not worth the value. Probably not worth buying. But I'll get into more of this at the conclusion. So right now, I'd like to talk about optimizations and bugginess. So the game is not particularly well optimized. You look at other games like Battlefield 3, even Battlefield 4, which is arguably the best looking video game on PC right now. The Battlefield 4 is barely more demanding than this. And in fact, I dare say it provides a much more consistent experience in terms of frame rates, even being more demanding. And it looks way better. That's not that this game looks bad, it's just not next gen, air quotes again. It's not, yeah, it's not bad. It looks pretty good. Especially some of the maps I personally really like, but not a huge fan of the system requirements and of the massive frame rate inconsistencies. I mean, it changes every other minute, every other second. You've got, okay, now suddenly, oh, you're down to 20 frame rates. 20 frames per second. Oh, now you're back up. Now you're back up to 60. And it is capped at whatever your monitor can handle. In my case, that's going to be 60. But I'm running an AMD R9 270. It's been overclocked. And quite frankly, I can't even max it out. I can get it pretty close, but I can't quite max it out. Which is sad, because this card will max out Battlefield 3 and come very close to maxing out Battlefield 4. So, it's not terribly well optimized. I'd recommend, for a good experience, at minimum on the NVIDIA side, a GT 640 or GTX 650, even better. And on the AMD side, I wouldn't really recommend anything less than an R7 250X. X is actually important. Not the same as a 250. But, well, actually, you could game on one of those new AMD APUs. They're actually remarkably impressive. So, if you were going to do that, one of the new A10s, you could do that too. That would work as well, I think. But, honestly, you're going to need a machine that has some pretty solid gaming capabilities to play this. It also is kind of buggy. It's not game-breaking, but you're going to be dealing with quite a few bugs. I've had several times where the game has just crashed. Once where it actually just threw me straight into another match as soon as I finished one. And just a few general bugginess. The general bugs. Once or twice I've had it happen where there's been some stuttering, I guess you would call it. It's not bad, and it's usually toward the beginning of the mission. Most of the stuttering, there's some stuttering going on right now. Almost all of it is caused by my video capture software. I didn't really turn the settings down, so there's occasional frame drops. So it's not this bad, not even close. But it does occasionally have some stuttering, typically at the beginning of a match. Speaking of which, the matchmaking, I have no idea how the matchmaking works. I mean, it doesn't seem to really be matching players of comparable skill levels, but at the same time, it will often put you on uneven teams without really compensating at all. I mean, it's not like they produce more grunts or specters or something, not that would really help, because the AI is not very impressive. But it just puts uneven teams. Often. Fairly often, I should say. But that's one thing that can be kind of annoying, is when you're down one person, one player, that can be really bad, because if you're down a player, that makes it much harder. So yeah, kind of spacing out right now. So it's fairly buggy, and the AI is not very impressive, but it makes up for that with Titans, which are, as I've said, a ton of fun once you get into them. But even the ground combat is actually where I think you actually have the most improvements. And yes, it's more evolutionary than revolutionary, but it's still really fun, really addictive, and that's what matters. So I guess it's conclusion time. At a $60 price point, do I recommend this title? No. There's simply not enough value. There's just not enough meat on the bones, so to say. So to speak. But, at its current $60, or rather, $20 price point, I think this game is a very solid deal. Solid deal, definitely good. Now, I was a little disappointed. They started releasing map packs pretty quick. And I don't like map packs because they kind of fragment the player base. Because, oh, now, if you don't have the map packs, people are playing those maps, but you can't. And seeing as it's online only, team based, if they're playing those maps, then they're probably not playing the stock maps. And if they're not playing the stock maps, then you aren't playing the stock maps. So, like, there are some modes, particularly for me, Pilot Skirmish. It's basically just pilot versus pilot. There are 8 on 8. Pilots, no Titans, no Grunts, no Spectres. But not very many people play that. And because of that, I don't get to play it very often, even though I really enjoy it. It's a little more tactical, so to speak, because it's basically just you. There's no, oh, suddenly you run into a Titan, and oh boy, heh, there goes all that hard work and your burn cards. But that being said, yeah, mech combat is definitely satisfying. No regrets there. Boy, I'm sucking this matchup. So, yeah, when push comes to shove, is this a good game? Yes. It doesn't have as much meat on the bones as I'd like, and I'm disappointed that they released so much DLC so quickly. But, on the bright side, Respawn Entertainment has really not commented on a lot of plans for new games. So it looks like they're going to be supporting this one for quite a while, which is good because once people stop playing it, well, you're screwed. That's it. Because the only offline mode is literally the tutorial. But it looks like they are going to be supporting it for a while, and certainly there's a lot of people still playing this game at any given time, so that's good. So again, this is a good game. Actually, no, I take it back, this is a great game. It just doesn't have the meat on the bones, the value that I would need, the replayability to recommend this at its full price point or otherwise give this a near perfect score. So the final score for this, with 5 being absolutely and completely average, nothing beyond what its competitors are offering at all, just painfully average, and 10 being awesome, 1 being why does this game exist, I give this an 8. It's a great game that's only held back from a higher score because of its relatively high release price and the fact that it just doesn't have the meat on the bones that others do. If it had a single player campaign, because the online campaign is basically non-existent, they might as well have not included it, it's that bad. It's just a bunch of missions on an endless loop. If it had a single player campaign, this would easily be a 9 out of 10 game or more, because it's fun, it's satisfying, it's fast-paced, and it's impossible not to like this game. So, yeah, if they were to add that as DLC, I think that's something we'd all be interested in seeing, a proper campaign. So, Respawn, if you're listening, give us a campaign. So that's all, guys. Those are my thoughts. And please like this video if you disliked it. Or rather, like this video if you disliked it. Dislike this video. Oh gosh, I can't talk today. Like this video if you liked it. Dislike it if you disliked it. Leave a comment if you have anything you want to say to me, or suggestions or criticisms. Go ahead, leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and next time I'll be taking a look at Battlefield 3. Yes, I know Battlefield 4 is out, but I haven't had enough time with that game to gather my thoughts. I've only played a little bit of the multiplayer and haven't really played the campaign. So that's going to be coming eventually, but not in the short term. So, Battlefield 3. Little old, little outdated, still looks gorgeous. So, what do I think about it? Well, you'll have to tune in next time to find out. Thanks for watching.